Hello, this is Right Side Trader. Today is January 2nd, 2026, and this is my weekly market review, where I'm reviewing the Nasdaq 100, that's QQQ, on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only, no trade recommendation, because as we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading. So please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other and make sure trading is something that is suitable for you. All right, Happy New Year, everyone. We're starting off the year red, which is okay with me. But there were some good trades out there today, and I'm thinking about doing a trade of the week, maybe something different, something new this year. It's a couple things I want to do. I'll tell you on this QQQ video. One of the things I want to do, if they change that rule to where you can day trade with the amount of money that you have in your account, you just can't trade any more than what you start the day with. I'm going to do some day trading in a small account, $3,000 or less, and show you some of the trades that you can do. And that I do and my small account. The problem is a lot of times you see stuff and before they change this, before now with the rule where it's at, and you can easily get in trouble because you see some of those oh my god setups, and then you realize, oh man, I didn't have that many trades, and you end up getting your account locked up, and then you have to throw $25,000 or more into the account to unlock it. But if they change that rule, we won't have to worry about that anymore. The only thing that we're going to have to be concerned with is just not trading any more than what we started the day with, and I'm already okay with that. And then in a margin account, it's almost, with a small margin account, it's kind of like a good thing. It's okay. It's a definitely okay thing. I don't like having my money, a lot of money in a margin account. Well, a lot of money meaning over six figures in a margin account. And because again, you end up trading. I end up trading too big. Number one, and you can get yourself in trouble real quick if you and then you got to fight yourself out of some of those bad positions that you may get yourself into. So that's why I prefer to have cash. Me personally, I prefer to have a cash account when I'm over six figures. Below six figures, margin account is okay, just one of those things. But that's enough of that. Let's get to this market review and see what we see on the Nasdaq 100. Maximize this quarterly chart and see what we see. We see red. We're starting off the quarter red. That's okay. We're well above the pivot. So again, we're still looking very bullish, in my opinion. The thing is, we're still having this marker here. If you go back on my videos, you see I had this marker here for a long time. This is the point where I see the market needs to cross, and before we're saying we're really bullish and this market is really ready to take off again, and we haven't crossed this point yet. So again, I expect us to struggle until we get cross there. I expect the market to continue going sideways, not going anywhere until we cross there. There's trading strategies that you can use at that point until we cross there. I won't say any more about that. Let's go ahead and go down to this monthly chart and see what we see here. On this monthly chart, what we see again is red. Even on the monthly pivots and all, we're still above pivot. So again, with my strategy and the way I look at the market, we're still bullish. And again, we're above the 9-10 moving average. That's this other line right here, that blue line that you see on there. I'm gonna bring up my little marker, and also I can actually really point it out. Where's my marker going to show up at? It's starting. Boom, there it is. When I say 9-10 moving average, that's this line right here. That's what that is. And these are SVE pivots if you're just beginning to start. I saw I got a couple more. These pivots are SVE pivots. And on this monthly chart, I have quarterly pivots is what I usually use. On the quarterly chart that you saw before this, there are yearly pivots. And now let's go down to the weekly chart and take a quick look at that. And on this weekly chart, when it comes to my pivots and all, these are monthly pivots. We're not showing a new month yet. Again, they're still showing up on the last month pivots. But today, where's today's? Today candle is not showing up here. That's kind of strange. That's kind of strange. This is weekly. It's showing up as the last week of the previous week. Kind of strange, but that's just the way it is what it is. But one of the things that we got to really need to pay attention to, like I say, I kind of see this market. It's in a large, pretty big range here, and maybe even a little tighter range right here. And also, again, not until we get a close above here, we're just going to be fighting this. I expect us to fight this candle for some time back here at the beginning of November and all. And I don't expect us to go anywhere until we can get above there. I don't expect us to go too much lower than this low way down here. And really, I think we're right here. We're in this candle, this big green candle right here. I say this big green candle. That's why I brought up my marker. And I'm talking about this green. I'm talking about this candle right here. I don't expect us to go too much lower than that. As you can see, we've been finding some support every time we get in there, and you don't expect it to go too much below the 50% point of that candle right there, which is around in this area here. If you do that, that's kind of like a oh my God trade. Let me play this thing to the upside. Or be very careful. This thing could roll over on you, because at this time right now, what we're looking at, and all, it's almost like an evening star, those three candles there and all. But again, we would have to get a confirmation candle over here and see this thing actually turn over and go down, which I kind of doubt. I think, I've been kind of expecting this thing to make all-time highs, and it hasn't done it yet. It hasn't broke this level yet. So again, I'm kind of, okay, you're not going anywhere yet, But come next week, the full first week of the year, they need to make a sign saying this market is strong, this market is getting ready to go higher, everything is okay. So next week may be the week that we actually break this 630 level and actually go higher and break these all-time highs here on the Nasdaq 100. But that's all I really want to say about that. Let's go ahead and go down to this daily chart and see what we see on this daily chart and wrap this on up. On this daily chart, as we can see, I'm zooming in a little bit tighter here. We've gotten a lot of little bullish looking stuff here. We had this bullish pattern back here, and right now we got almost like a bullish engulfing with red on red right here and all. And we open it up above. Again, it's not showing again, it was the end of the week. So on these weekly pivots, one of my rules, get some of my rules. Below pivot, we started out the week below pivot and we stayed below pivot, which is ideal, which is what I kind of expect. We came down to an R3. We came down to a support 3, and we did get below that, and we did get a little bit bounce off of that. But we still ended up red for the day and ended up forming a bearish engulfing, or red on red bearish engulfing. So again, come next week, look like we may open up a below pivot. That's not a good sign. That means we might get a little follow through to the downside and come down to a support 1 before we actually get a bounce. So again, I'm still not seeing those all-time highs based on what I'm seeing happening here on the chart. But again, I don't expect it to go below 600 or below a support level 2 if we do actually end up turning over. And that's pretty much all I see, starting this year out. But we're going to make some money this year because, again, this market is kind of like getting somewhat predictable what can be happening here. Again, there's nice levels at the top, and there's some nice levels down here at the bottom for other trading strategies that you can use with the way this market is trading at this time. And that's pretty much all I have to share at this time. I hope everybody has a prosperous new year. Be blessed, everyone, and let's make that money this year. Talk to you later. This is the Right Side Trader. Have a good one. Bye.